to be able to just make a choice on your own and just be able to speak for yourself.
This one's wife. She wants to be Reese Witherspoon. Hello, I'm H.G. Tudor. Many people seek to emulate others. Sometimes it's done out of sheer admiration. In other instances, one looks upon an individual and what they have achieved and thought, that's what I would like to become. It might even be the case that they look at how they have achieved their particular success in a sporting field, within business, within a particular area of the entertainment or arts, and decide, I'm going to follow that recipe, that career path, and endeavour to secure the same level of success. Accordingly, it is often the case that people will seek to emulate the work and achievement of others. Indeed, there are some individuals that actively look for an existing framework and seek to improve upon it. When it comes to the narcissist, however, it's something far more pathological and deeper. As you know from my previous works, one of the prime aims is something called character trait acquisition. This is where the narcissist actively takes aspects of other people and bolts them onto the construct. This is done subconsciously for the purposes of the creation of an image which is portrayed to the outside world, which then aids the narcissist with regard to controlling people, drawing fuel from them and gaining residual benefits. An easy example of this is a narcissist has a conversation with somebody, and that person talks about the holiday they've just been on in Rome. The narcissist then goes and speaks to somebody else, and then talks about as if they have just been to Rome. They've used the experience of person one in their conversation with person two, and they pass it off as if it is their own experience. It can go even further, whereby a narcissist will take huge aspects of a person's life and act as if it's how they are, or seek to emulate that. Again, unlike the earlier examples that I explained, where somebody's doing that because they simply see it as a good route to a successful career, the narcissist is doing this because they actually project a false self, and this is done as part of the creation of that projection in order to achieve more of the prime aims. It's a much more fundamental act on the part of the narcissist. This one's wife is being accused of attempting to be Martha Stewart or Nigella Lawson, particularly with regard to the latest cookery debacle. But now a journalist has suggested that she wants to be Reese Witherspoon. The article by Victoria Corrin Mitchell in The Telegraph essentially starts by suggesting that Reese Witherspoon is a very successful lady. She's a film star, she's a producer and a presenter, so who wouldn't want to be her? But it soon turns into not so much an attack, but a criticism of this one's wife to show that that's who she's trying to emulate. The article begins by stating, in the yawning gap where With Love Megan was supposed to be, I've been watching programmes made by Reese Witherspoon. I have a theory that Reese Witherspoon is the person this one's wife is trying to become, writes Victoria Mitchell. Was it right to postpone broadcast of this one's wife's new lifestyle series in the wake of the LA fires? I suppose so. It might have seemed a bit tone-deaf to be wafting across the plush carpet of a giant pretend house, decanting jars of American Riviera orchard jam into homemade pottery orchids, against a backdrop of sobbing neighbours clutching the few charred picture frames they'd managed to salvage from their ruined homes. A house fire plays to the precisely opposite instinct of a lifestyle show. The latter invites us to curate each detail of our homes with intimidating care. Lay hand-embroidered cloths over side tables, display oranges in a blue glass bowl, arrange tiny pot plants up the oak steps of an antique library ladder, etc. You have to keep on top of it as a full-time job, forever tweaking and stitching and arranging and plumping and uploading to your Instagram. Otherwise, what's the point? Because you and I know what all that means if you don't. She then goes on to explain that it all basically turns to nonsense, that it no longer looks good. Would it actually have been wrong to broadcast This One's Wife's show in January as scheduled? Well, I don't think so. People in TV worry too much about the juxtaposition of news stories with entertainment, as if viewers cannot separate the two. There's no point trying to guess what might offend anybody these days, so you might as well just publish and be damned. She then goes on to state that, so for my money, it would not have been wrong to broadcast with Love, Meghan, on schedule. Whenever it's shown, some people will be struggling with poverty and homelessness, while others craft scent soap out of wild honey from their own bees. But of course it might have felt wrong. And if the Sussexes are on a mission to make television that nobody criticises, well, good luck with that. Now, pausing there, that of course is part of the way that This One's Wife operates, that she believes that she is above criticism because it's her. And you're always going to be criticised. There's always going to be somebody that doesn't like what you produce. But this journalist identifies an aspect of This One's Wife's behaviours whereby she thinks that she can make television that won't be criticised, part of the reason why it has been moved. She then goes on to state, but Reese Witherspoon seems to manage it. Reese Witherspoon is a 48-year-old actress who has made such a successful transition into TV production while maintaining such a successful performance career that a high-budget Will Ferrell movie is being released on Amazon next week in which Witherspoon both plays a producer and is the producer. Her own company has made dozens of successful dramas. She narrates nature documentaries and presents a book club. She's even hosted a talk show where she interviews successful women in a sisterly, soft, feminist way. I mean, come on. A light bulb flashed as I realised who This One's Wife must be desperate to become. And if you think about it, This One's Wife wanted to be a successful content creator with the Netflix deal, but has failed. She narrated a nature documentary, but wasn't very good at it. She'd written a book, and undoubtedly would want to move on to present a book club, but hasn't got anywhere in that respect. She hosted a podcast where she interviewed, or at least a member of her staff did so, other people, and that was met with derision. Thus, you can see that she's gone down the well-worn path of those particular things, seeking to emulate the success of Reese Witherspoon. Reese Witherspoon's name fairly guarantees entertainment these days. And the fact is that she points out that this is who This One's Wife wants to become. Entertainingly, as I've explained previously, Reese Witherspoon is very much on Team Windsor, which is another aspect which will irk This One's Wife. But putting that to one side, given the success of Reese Witherspoon, it's evident that This One's Wife would seek to emulate her, not just in the way of, that looks like a good level of success, I'll go down that route too, but actually believing that precisely what Reese Witherspoon has done should be hers as well. This One's Wife will believe that what Reese Witherspoon has done, she is entitled to achieve because it's her. She wants to manifest success. She thinks it should fall into her lap automatically. Remember, I can't believe I'm not being paid for this. She doesn't understand that you have to earn things. Her narcissism simply taps her on the shoulder and whispers, you deserve this because it's you. And similarly, she's wanted to have the same level of success as Reese Witherspoon. That's the person she wants to be. Talented, praised, admired by many, and successful, with fingers in lots of different pies. And it can be seen, as Victoria Mitchell has pointed out, she's attempted to follow that same path, her narcissism causing her to try and acquire the character traits of Reese Witherspoon. But as ever, her narcissism has got her into this position, but it struggles to keep her there. She simply hasn't got the raw talent or ability to be Reese Witherspoon, notwithstanding her narcissism's desire, that is who she acquires character traits from. I'm H.G. Tudor. Thank you for listening.